What a great day, grade 4 learners! Welcome to our English for grade 4 class. Our topic for today is writing an editorial. Here is what I know for you to be able to find out how much do you know about the lesson. Please write what I know on your paper. Directions. Arrange the steps in writing an editorial. Write numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Conclusion or possible solutions. Writing an outline. Deciding on your topic. Writing an editorial. Stating your opinion. You may pause this video for you to answer the questions. It's time to check your answers. Perfect! Number 1 is deciding on your topic. Number 2 is stating your opinion. Number 3 is writing an outline. Number 4 is writing an editorial. And number 5, conclusion or possible solutions. Or 5, 3, 1, 4, 2. Way to go, grade 4 learners! Now let's go to what's in. Journalism is part of our everyday lives. From television and radio to newspapers and magazines to websites and social media. News and journalism are the tools in which people learn about current affairs all over the world, and journalists can influence the general public in a way that few other professions can. A journalist is a person who collects, writes, photographs, processes, edits, or comments on news or other topical information to the public. A journalist's work is called journalism. During the previous lesson, we have discussed that there are 4 principal types of journalism: news, feature, opinion, and sports writing. Let's go to what's new. The illustration is an example of an editorial cartoon. An editorial cartoon is a graphic representation or symbolism of the creator's opinion, idea, or commentary about a current news or issue, or what we call an editorial. So what is an editorial? An editorial is an article that states a newspaper's stance on a particular issue. Basically, it is a persuasive essay that offers a solution to a problem. It's like convincing the readers to believe in the writer. So if you are the writer of an editorial, you have to be able to convince the reader to believe in you. Now here are the characteristics of a good editorial. First, presents the newspaper's opinion on an issue. Second, reflects the majority vote of the editorial board. Third, usually unsigned. Fourth, editorial writers build on an argument and try to persuade readers to think the same way they do. Fifth, meant to influence public opinion, promote critical thinking, and sometimes cause people to take action on an issue. And sixth, in essence, an editorial is an opinionated news story. A good editorial must have the following. Number 1, introduction, body, and conclusion like other news stories. Like an essay, when you write an editorial, you have to make the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Number 2, an objective explanation of the issue, especially complex issues. So you have to be able to make a stand and specific explanation about the issue. Number 3, a timely news angle. You have to write an editorial which is relevant at the present, important to where we are now. Number 4, opinions of the opposing viewpoint that refute directly the same issues the writer addresses. And number 5, the opinions of the writer delivered in a professional manner. Good editorials engage issues, not personalities, and refrain from name-calling or other petty tactics of persuasion. So you can't be talking about people until they're bad or call them names, because you would appear professional that way. Number 6, alternative solutions to the problem or issue being criticized. Anyone can gripe about a problem, But a good editorial should take a proactive approach to make the situation better by using constructive criticism and giving solutions. So the essence of your editorial is to make people know about solutions which they can also use. And number 7, a solid and concise conclusion that powerfully summarizes the writer's opinion. Give it some punch. These are the steps in writing an editorial. Number 1, deciding on your topic. So before you write, of course you think of your topic, whether it may be about not wearing school uniform. Number 2, stating your opinion. After knowing your topic, then you will have to state what are your opinions about the topic. Number 3, writing an outline. Writing an outline is like, what will be my introduction? What will be my body? What will be my conclusion? The things to include in your editorial. Number 4, writing an editorial itself. Because you already know your opinions, you already have the outline, what to do, you are ready to make and write your editorial. And number 5, conclusion or possible solution. After all your opinions, you have to give a conclusion and a solution. Now remember the key to a successful editorial. You could read specs. S for state the problem or situation. P is for state your position. What is your position? What is your stand? E, give evidence to support your position. You could research about your topic and provide evidences to support your claim. And letter C, state and refute the position of the other side in the conclusion. And letter S is for offer 2 possible solutions to the problem. Now, let us study the following example of an editorial. Mutation, the Philippine Star, August 20, 2020, 12 a.m. The studies remain inconclusive, according to the World Health Organization. The attention of the WHO and the scientific community has been drawn by the discovery of a mutation of severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, in a small sample of COVID-19 cases in Quezon City last month. SARS-CoV-2 is a pathogen that causes coronavirus disease 2019. Scientists have pointed out that it's not unusual for viruses to mutate. The small sample also does not represent the situation in the entire country. What bears watching, however, is the potential of the mutant to be more virulent than the original. There are fears that this could be the case in the SARS-CoV-2 mutation detected in Quezon City. Seeing COVID-19 becoming even more infectious and debilitating or lethal is the last thing the country needs. While studies have not yet established the virulence of the mutated SARS-CoV-2, its discovery adds urgency to the effort to ramp up the country's COVID testing and contact tracing capabilities. The testing suffers not only from the limited number of kits and the high cost of the more reliable swab test, but also long wait for the results. Some people who undergo the swab test on suspicion that they might be infected still continue with their routines, mingling with people in the workplace, in supermarkets, and public transportation. By the time the results are known in 3 to 5 days, how many more people would have been infected? It's not enough to undergo the so-called gold standard in SARS-CoV-2 detection, the real-time reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction test. The result of the RRT-PCR test must be known as quickly as possible to prevent further virus transmission. This becomes more critical if the SARS-CoV-2 proves to be more virulent. Contact tracing, while significantly improved since the start of the pandemic, still needs a major boost. The fears over the mutant SARS-CoV-2 variant might prove to be unfounded, but in this pandemic, it's always better to prepare for the worst. Let us answer the following questions about the editorial. Number 1, what was the editorial about? You may pause this video and answer this question. The answer is about the mutation of SARS-CoV-2. Number 2, who published the editorial? You may pause this video for you to answer the question. Here's the answer, the Philippine Star. Number 3, explain the relevance of the editorial to the current COVID-19 situation. You may pause this video for you to be able to answer the question. The teacher will be the one to check your answers because they may vary. Number 4, name 3 good arguments this editorial gave to its readers. You may pause this video for you to be able to answer the question. Your teacher will be the one to check your answers because they may vary. We are now in what's more. Directions. Write true if the sentence is correct and false if it is not. Number 1. Editorial is a newspaper article that tends to contain and explain authors' ideas. Number 2. Editorials write the false news. Number 3. Be clear about the type of editorial you write. Number 4. Editorials help us to connect to current events and issues around the world. Number 5. Students learn to write opinions that is not true about the issues that we face nowadays. You may want to pause the video or replay for you to be able to answer the questions. It's time to check your answers. Number 1 is true. Number 2 is false. Number 3 is true. Number 4 is true. And number 5 is false. Rock on, grade 4 learners. Let's go to letter B. Directions. Identify the parts of an editorial. Choose from the list below and write your answer. The words in the box are editorial, beginning, body, conclusion, and opinion. Number 1. The last part that summarizes. Number 2. Gives brief background or opinion statement. Number 3. All details supporting the opinion. Number 4. A newspaper article written by or on behalf of an editor that gives an opinion on a topical issue. Number 5. A view of judgment formed about something, not necessarily based on fact knowledge. It's time to check your answers. Number 1 is conclusion. Number 2 is beginning. Number 3 is body. Number 4 is editorial. And number 5 is opinion. Let's go to what I have learned. To sum up what we have talked about in today's lesson, fill in the blanks with the appropriate answer. Use the first and last letter clues in each item to help you complete the message. An E blank L is an article that states the newspaper stands on a particular issue. Basically, it is a P blank E essay that offers a S blank end to a problem. Time to check your answers. The answers are editorial, persuasive, and solution. Next, the 3 important parts of an editorial are 1. Starts with letter I and ends with letter N. Number 2 begins with letter B and ends with letter Y. Number 3 begins with letter C and ends in letter N. It's time to check your answers. Number 1 is introduction. Number 2 is body. And number 3 is conclusion. Let's go to what I can do. Directions. Write an editorial about how President Duterte is handling the COVID-19 pandemic. Use the rubrics to assess your work. Here is the rubrics. The article has the basic elements of an editorial article. 5 if best, 3 if better, and 2 if good. Provide an argument and solution to the problem clearly in the article. 5 as best, 3 better, and 2 good. Use proper mechanics in writing. Punctuation mark, grammar, spelling, and choice of words. And last, organization of thoughts. You may pause this video to write your editorial. Very good. Your teacher will be the only one to check your answers because they may vary. We're now in the post-assessment. Directions. Read each statement. Write the letter of the correct answer. Number 1. Editorial are often signed by the writer. A. True. B. False. C. Maybe. Or D. Not sure. Number 2. Editorials are on form of blank writing. A. News. B. persuasive, C. feature, or D. opinion. Number 3. Three elements of editorials are A. columns, reviews, and opinions. Letter B. presentation of fact, perspective, and persuasion. Letter C. lead, summary, and headline. Or letter D. news, fact, and future. Number 4. A good editorial has introduction, body, and conclusion like other news stories. A. true, B. false, C. maybe, or D. not sure. Number 5. Editorials and opinion pieces can belong readers to take actions, confirm conviction, and offer new perspective to readers. A. suggest, B. admonish, C. require, or D. forget. It's time to check your answers. That's right. Number 1 is B, 2B, 3B, 4A, 5 is A. Way to go for completing the lesson on writing an editorial grade for learners. Congratulations!